All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you watch it from. I am Management, and this is I Am Sure Sports. As usual, we begin every morning with this one phrase: It is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We are grateful that we have breath in our lungs. We are grateful that we are alive. As we look on the outside and we see the beautiful sunshine, the lush green mountains, the wind swinging the leaves and branches of the tree, we understand that we ought to be a grateful people for the fact that we are alive today. We didn't have to be here, but we are here. So, in spite of all of life's adversities and trials and difficulties, in spite of all the burdens we carry, all the cares of this world, we live to fight another day. We live to trust again, to believe again. So we will maximize the moment. We'll make the most of every opportunity presented to us. We will fight the good fight of faith. We will seek to add value to people's life. We will love people, and we will love the Creator, God. Word of wisdom: take an opportunity today to say you to your loved ones, I love you. I care for you. It may be the last time you see someone and you want to have no regrets. All right? Secondly, I want to invite you to subscribe to I Am Sure Sports. If you have not done so yet, please go ahead and do so. It's a very simple process. And what it does, it shows that you like the content that we present and how we do it. In a truthful, honest way, we conduct ourselves with respect for all people. Yeah, we may have bursts of just what I'd say angry display, but we try our best to operate at a high emotional IQ because we realize society is so ravaged by crime and criminality that we must set a high standard and a high bar, not just by what we present, but how we present it and how we present ourselves to the masses of people who listen to us digest and consume the information we present to them. So subscribe, also like the video, and if you like the video, it means you can share the video with someone else. But I want to kind of touch on a couple of matters very quickly for you today. Number one is just there has been under the surface information that due to the influx of foreign nationals in our league, there is a move to put a cap on the amount of foreign national. There is presently one, so you could call it a quota, you could call it a cap on foreign nationals playing in the Jamaica Premier League. And what the present rule is that you can't register more than 7. And so the rule is not clear because there are teams who they have more than 7, but on a particular match day they will not have more than 6 on a match card, or else they could suffer the consequences of it. And we had one situation like that with one club in the last JPL season where they had more than the allocated amount of players on a match card, and they receive a fine for that. All right. And so I think because of the impact of these foreign nationals and probably the spending power of some club, there is this desired move to limit that. In fact, to cut it to 6 registered players in total and keep it at that. That means you cannot have more than 6 registered players in your Premier League team for the entire season, and those 6 players will be the 6 players unless you sell one and bring in another. All right. Now, I am not a proponent of this. I think it's a retrograde step. I think it is going to push the league backwards. In fact, I think the flip is what we need to do. I think what would benefit the league more is if the rule is you must have a minimum of 6 homegrown players on your team and in your squad. Well, in your squad for the season at all times. Where you get the rest of players from is not an issue to me. So I think consideration needs to be given to flipping the script. What do I mean by that? Again, you should have a minimum amount of domestic born players registered in your team. I think it's a similar standard that they have in the United Kingdom, in England, that we watch well. But I do not believe you should put a cap on the amount of foreign nationals. What it should be is that provision must be made in the teams to facilitate good local talent. And here's why I believe that. I believe if we can get players from Brazil and Argentina and Uruguay and the USA and Canada and Mexico and the Caribbean islands and stuff, Cuba is going through a difficult time. Maybe there are Cuban footballers that can come and play in Jamaica. We see Haitians coming. We see Surinamese coming. We can go and get players from the different nations in Africa. Why should we stop them? All of this would enhance the league. If we have every team having 7, 8, 9, 10 foreign nationals playing, imagine how attractive the league becomes. Of course, they must be better than what we have, but that's up to a club, because it is the club who spend their money to make the purchases of the player. So therefore, if a club believes that a player from Germany coming to Jamaica would do better in a position than a player born in Jamaica, a club should be allowed to spend their money to do that. Now, what we can say is that in a starting 11, there has to be domestic born players. That I could live with, but nothing should stop a club from registering as many foreign nationals as possible. Here's the other benefit. When the domestic born players begin to see club having access to international markets almost unlimited, it would challenge them. It would challenge them. It would challenge them, one, to perform better, and secondly, now these foreign players are going to demand higher salaries. So now you, as a domestic player, have more negotiating power when a local club wants you in their team. So it is of benefit to all. And I do not agree with the way it is being done now, which is to stop teams from recruiting far and wide as many as possible. That should not be the strategy. The strategy should be recruit as much as possible, but we must have spaces within the teams or the squads for domestic born players. I hope this falls on hearing ears and not deaf ears. The league needs to be marketable. The league needs to grow. The league needs to expand. And I think clubs need to look outside of Jamaica for talent. That's how you're going to build a sustainable league. Because now, if you begin to attract players from overseas, every team having 8 and 9, then you are opening up new avenues of sponsorship and ownership within the structure of the league. Now, I think some of you are going to believe, what going to happen to local footballers? Good talent will always play. Let me say that again. Good talent will always play. If you're good enough, you're going to play. If you are good enough, you're going to play. If you're good enough, you are going to play. And if you're not playing, it's not because of a foreign national. It is because you are not good enough. On a second note, as you know, we have two crucial, important World Cup qualifying games coming up. One against the BVI and the other against Guatemala, who incidentally will be our first opponent in the Gold Cup, right? And again, I want to get back to this because I think we have missed the significant impact of the Unity Cup. The Unity Cup has sparked a fire in many persons who are small business operators in the United Kingdom who are looking at avenues and ways of expanding their brand in Jamaica. And that is because we had a team that went and did well. And the community, when I say the community, I mean the atmospheric condition. Like AC, that sounds good, right? I'm telling you. The atmospheric condition really, like in Jamaica, I would say, it created a vibe amongst the people. And I did say this, that I believe it has sparked a deep interest in many players. And I suspect that by September, I believe the interest that has been sparked, along with how I think the selection process is for the English team, we will begin to see a great influx of players from England coming into Jamaica. No, I know there's big debate on the radio about whether or not. Listen, again, I will say this. If someone is coming, let's use a relationship. If you're insecure, you have a problem. Fix your insecurity. No, if players are coming from overseas who have Jamaican heritage, may not be born here, but have Jamaican heritage. If I'm a player, I'm going to cement my place in the team. Now, you can't listen to people on social media about you're not good enough. I mean, half of them can't play football. Half of them are not as smart as you are. So players can't listen to many of these people. What you do, you lift your standard. Because here's what success does. Success raises standards. And success invites successful people. So the better the team begins to play, the more games the team begins to win, the higher the team climbs in the ranking, it's the more attractive the team is going to be to people. And so you're going to get more sponsors. Better coaches are going to be lined up. Better team managers are going to want to be a part of the process. Better players are going to want to be a part of the process. But you, as the team standard, lifts to a new level. Your own standard must lift to a new level. Not just on the field of play, but off the field of play. Because football is a business industry. And our on-field attitude and behavior should exemplify professionalism, and so is the off-field conduct. So listen, for those who are concerned about players coming in, that's your business. All you need to do is to make sure that when the roll is called, your name is there. Make sure that your name is etched in that squad list, that no matter who comes from whatever league, you're good enough and merit to have your place. And I say to the fans, because you know my position, the fans who say no local players are good, and the fans who say nobody from overseas should play, they both have their own points. And there's validity to both arguments. Great validity. But what makes you believe that your position is the best position? So this whole talking needs to stop, because it is just your opinion. And in the same way, you have a right to your opinion. Why can't you understand that people have a right to their opinion? And stop arguing about this thing. Like in my time on YouTube, the conversation has not evolved. It is sad. And even the people who you consider to be highly intellectual, the only argument they can make is whether somebody in Jamaica or somebody outside of Jamaica is better. In close to 10 years of discourse, that's all people discuss. It shows that we have become limited in our scope of thinking and our approach to discussions. It's time for change. It's time for change. Because success breeds success. Better people are going to come. That's just it. and your standards must always improve. I believe you can be in Jamaica, playing in the league, and be good enough to make a Jamaica team. I believe you can be outside of Jamaica, and you're not good enough to make a Jamaica team. I believe you can be in Jamaica, and you're not good enough to make a Jamaica team. And I believe that you can be overseas, and you're good enough to make a Jamaica team. At the end of the day, location has importance. But what's more important is the player himself, your own standard. Spectators are here today, armchair analysts, and so I know from my eyes, my two eyes, that as the team begins to produce more success, win more games, climb in the ranking, as the English selection policy and operation continues to be an issue, many people are going to reject the opportunity to play for England and choose Jamaica and many other island countries and countries. Do you hear that since Nigeria played and Ghana played, both teams have in the Premier League and the Championship, one has like 20 or 18 players who are in the process of getting documentation and making themselves available. The same need to happen here. And listen again, we were in the Unity Cup, but the fan base is still divided. How sad it is. You, so sad, did so much talk about Unity Cup, but yet you sow division. It is teamwork that makes the dream work. For a cord of 3 strongs is not easily broken. Let's come together and don't let the petty arguments push us aside. I am management. This is I Am Sure Sports. I urge you, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Right now, I am over and I am out of here.